So on page 121, number 29, your paper should say this. We're going to add together these numbers. I have 10 to the 11th and 10 to the 9th. So that means there's more decimal places here than the other one. We have to line that up. Which number are we going to change? What number are we going to change and alter? We want both exponents to be what number? Good. The 9, the smaller of the two, which means I'm going to change this one. I want it to say 10 to the 9th. But wait a minute, I have 11 tens. So how many tens will be left over? 2. So this is the book. This is again the step that the book skips. That's annoying to me. I want you to do this step until you don't have to anymore. Eventually you'll do enough practice ones where you'll know which way to move the decimal and how many places. For now, it's too new. So I'm going to do this because I want it to be 10 to the 9th so that those 9 decimal places are lined up. 10 to the 2nd because I want it to say 9, but there's 11 of them, so there's 2 left over. So you're looking for the pattern already, which is wonderful. Until you get there, I want to see this step. So it's 10 squared and 10 to the 9th because we have to have the same value. Awesome questions. Now, 9.5 times 10 squared is what number? 10 squared is 100, so I have to move it how many places? But there's not a number here. What am I going to do? Good. So this becomes 950 times 10 to the 9th plus 6.3 times 10 to the 9th. Because our goal is that we have those 9 decimal places all lined up. But you cannot change the value of your number. So I know the book skips this step, but that's why you move it 2 places, because you would have 2 tens left over from your 11 to get that to be 9. What questions do you have about that step first? Everybody understands why we moved the decimal 2 places? Because there were 2 tens left over? Really? Okay. What are we going to do next? What do you notice is the same in both of these numbers? The exponent's the same, so we're going to use the distributive property to pull out that factor, okay? So I'm going to take out 10 to the 9th because that factor is the same in both numbers. And what's left over are just the numbers in the front. So I'm going to add 950 plus 6.3. This is the distributive property. Times 10 to the 9th because we're going to take that factor out. And it's addition. The only difference between addition and subtraction is you either add the numbers or subtract the numbers, but the whole process is the same. Good, because you did what, Abby? You did what? To add them together, you have to make sure you do what? Line up the decimals. So this is the ones place. It has to add to get the ones place. I kind of do hope that you could mentally math that one. I do. So I end up with 956.3 times 10 to the 9th. It is not done. Thank you. It is not done. Tell me why.
Because it has to be less than 10.
Yes, it is not in scientific notation. Jason.
Yeah, move those to the left.
Good, which means I'm dividing by what number? I'm dividing, I'm taking out 2 tens, right? So it becomes 9.563. I'm taking out 2 tens. That's where this came from. Because these 2 numbers have to be equivalent. Well, I already had 9 tens. And now I took out 2 more tens. How many tens do I have altogether now? I have 2 and I have 9 more.
Oh, so you had 11.
Good. So see how this is the same value?
So you had 11.
Yes, and it is frequently the same number. Sometimes, depending on what your operation is, you might, or how close they are to the next place value, it might end up being like 1 off, but it should be darn close. The 2 and the 9. Awesome question. So I know the book skipped this step and the book skipped this step. Eventually you're just going to move the decimal place and know that. We are not comfortable enough with this process yet. What's your question? Ooh, nope. What we did was we moved it 2 places. So if I move it this way, that means I'm taking a 10 out. If I move it again, that means I took a second 10 out. That's an awesome question. It does. We took 2 tens out. So here it's just 956. Really, I'm taking that number and multiplying by 100 or 2 tens. So however many numbers you move it is what the exponent will be. That's an awesome question. Did you catch that? However many decimal places we move it is what the exponent is going to be. How did I go? How did I get 10 to the 11th power? Jason?
Because you had the 10 to the 2.
Good. I have 2 and 9 more, so I'm adding them together.